Today we're here to talk about the anxiety that we cause to ourselves when we are thinking about the future and we get caught up in trying to control the outcomes of what is to come. And it's very normal for humans to try to do that. It's very normal, especially if you are starting your career or halfway through your career and you're aiming really high. So if you feel like you are feeling anxious or stressed out because you're trying to determine what's going to come next, what your next steps should be, and whether you are doing what you possibly can to help your goal and to make you reach where you have been practicing to reach. So that's like I said, it's very normal, and it's something that we're so accustomed to because we also surround ourselves with people who tend to talk about, this is my 5-year plan, this is my 10-year plan. And you're often surrounded by people who want to do more, or trying to strive to do the next best thing that's set in place for them. And what we tend to do is we get caught up in all of these narratives and these stories that we need to know what's coming up next for us. So how do we deal with that right now? It is, while I'm recording this, it's 2023. And we're at a time where the tech world isn't at its peak. And it's starting to slowly move away from what it has been. And I would go as far as to say that we're at a place where things that have worked in a certain way are starting to move in a different direction. And that isn't necessarily bad, but we are, as a collective, starting to feel very anxious about it. And we're starting to see people around us. My LinkedIn feed is full of people requesting for help and people getting laid off. And that's what we're being hit by. So naturally, we are starting to feel like, okay, what's next for myself? Or am I at the right place? Can I do something to prevent it? And then the stories go on and on. And right now, what I want to do is make sure that we're all comfortable with not knowing what's coming next. So that's the meditation that we're going to do. Before we get into that meditation, I just want to have everybody who's viewing just check in with themselves and see where they're coming from. What is their intention? Is it an intention that is just for today, or is it something that you want to apply to one of your goals? And it could be, honestly, it could be anything. It could even be anxiety that you've brought upon yourself, thinking about the future of something else that impacts you. It doesn't necessarily have to be your career. And it could be indirectly impacting your career. So just check in with yourself and make sure that you're aware of what your intention is. And even if nothing comes to you, I would say then just try to center in and be comfortable with what is coming next and not knowing what is coming next. So that said, let's go into some breathing exercises that help you to zone in and that help you to get ready for the meditation. So we're just going to start with some basic yogic breathing, which is a 3-part breathing. So the way you want to think about this is there's 3 parts in your lungs, and even though they are in your lungs, I want you to think of them as stomach, chest, and shoulders. And we're going to breathe in and out step by step. So when you're breathing in, you inhale and you hold it first in your stomach, then your chest, and then your shoulders. And we're going to hold, and when you exhale, you're going to exhale first from your shoulders, your chest, and then your stomach. And that's the reason that this is called a yogic breathing, is because this is the more natural way of breathing, or this is how humans were intended to breathe. So we're going to just quickly check in with our bodies, and I'm going to give a count. So I'm going to give 3 counts in and 3 counts out, 1 for each part. And we can keep our eyes open because I'm going to direct which part you want to focus on and which part you want to fill up or where you want to exhale from. So let's get started. You can sit comfortably upright. Even if you're on a chair, just don't use your back support. And you just want to settle in on your sit bones and try to maintain contact with the floor. If you're on a chair, you want to put your feet on the floor. If you are in a place where you can remove your footwear, I would encourage you to do so. So just keep your hands on your legs and ready. Breathe in. 1, 2, 3. Hold. 2. Exhale. 2, 3. Hold. 2. Inhale. 2, 3. Hold. 2. Exhale. 2, 3. Hold. 2. Inhale. 2, 3. Hold. 2. Exhale. 2, 3. Hold. 2. And you want to keep going now with this because I want you to really feel it to start being more natural to your breathing. So continue with this for another 2 rounds and just focus on your breathing because we want to make it more natural. And the more you do this practice, the more you find yourself breathing at a better rate, and overall it's just more healthy for you. Okay, and at your next exhale, we're going to stop counting and let it take over naturally. So now that we're at a slightly more meditative state, we can start to think about how we have put ourselves in a position where we are now giving ourselves more stress by thinking about what comes next. And these stories that are now coming to you of what thoughts have been coming to you naturally, and this would probably be more recent thoughts that you've had, let's say in the past 2 weeks. These thoughts are going to come to you through the meditation, and you're going to have to learn to just tune back in and zone back into the now. So in order to do that, I would suggest that you think of something that reminds you that you're right now here. So in my case, there's a ceiling fan that brings me back to the now. So this is what is happening now. And everything else, all these other thoughts that are coming to me are in the future, and right now I don't need to concern myself with it. And that's what we're going to move forward with. So think of a sound, or if there's a smell of someone cooking something, because that's reality. That's what's happening right now. So just find something that reminds you of where you are. It could be a smell, it could be a sound, it could even be the feeling of the ground under your feet, and or if you're in a breeze, you could feel it brush up against your arm. So anything that could help bring you back to the now. Just identify something that you could use your 5 senses to bring you back to reality, because that's what we're going to do. So we're going to now get ready to zone in. So just close your eyes and get comfortable. So if you feel like you need to adjust yourself, just go ahead and do that. And tune into your breathing. And just relax your entire body. You can start to do that in sections to focus on your breathing and think about your feet. Just relax them. Relax your calves. Relax your knees. Relax your thighs. Relax your hips. Be sure to relax your pelvis. And now your spine, your lower back and your lower stomach, your midriff, back and front. Relax your chest and your upper back, your shoulders. Relax your arms, starting with your upper arms, your elbows, your forearms, and your hands. Relax your neck. And relax your face, starting with your jaw. So, if you relax your jaw enough, you will find that it starts to move away from the rest of your skull. And it just hangs, and that's fine. That's perfect. That's what you want to do. Relax your tongue and the bottom of your tongue that goes down your throat. And relax behind your eyes. Relax your ears. And take a deep sigh. You just want to relax. Remember where you are. Tune into your senses that remind you of where you are. And if you feel like there's any part of you or your body that is ready to go into action, just relax and tell yourself that for now we're here. We're not going anywhere for the next 8 minutes. So just want to tune in. This is where we are, and we're not making any plans. We're just here, and any thoughts that are coming to you, any kind of stress that is coming up that's about the future, you want to acknowledge it, let it go, and tell yourself that it's okay to not be in control. That you can make the best plans and execute it to the best of your abilities. And that's what you're going to do. But everything else, it isn't in your hands, and that is okay. It's okay to not even know what's coming up next, to not even have a plan. It's okay. And we're here right now, and this is what the reality is. You want to also tell yourself that you've made it this far. And that isn't a small feat. And a lot of the times, you didn't know what was right around the corner. And it turned out okay. And so, going forward, whatever you're trying to plan for yourself, your financial goals, your travel plans, your plans to take your family to places, to give the best to your family. These intentions are great. And you're going to do the best thing that you can. You're going to do the best that you can, whatever come may, and that is good enough. There's no point stressing or contemplating whether you're going to get a promotion or that you're going to get a job. Or that your investments are safe. You just want to try to stay away from judging what's best for you from where you are standing right now, because the universe has its own plans, and that is okay. And the worst that could happen is that you don't have it your way. So just check in with your body and feel if there's still muscles or joints that feel like they're ready to launch into action. And tell yourself, you're here now, you've made it this far, you've done the best that you can, And that's always what you're going to do. You're always going to do the best that you can. Check in with your breathing and stay there for a moment, because your mind is going to start to come up with counter arguments right now, and that's okay. That's very natural for a human mind to try to steer you towards your goals. So just listen and don't push away these thoughts. Acknowledge them and come back to where you are now. Because your mind isn't wrong. And thoughts could be like, yes, we're here now, but we could do better if we tried another strategy. And that's okay for your mind to try to get you to your goal. It's okay. Not everything is in your control, and that is okay. Think back to your childhood, or a simpler time even, when you were a student, or a time when you didn't feel like you needed to control the outcome. And things still worked out. So that's what you need to tell yourself, is that you're going to do the best that you can with what you have. And that's going to be good enough. So sit with whatever thoughts come up. You might have various goals or a lot of tension built up based on goals that weren't achieved just yet. And so just sit with these thoughts. They're going to come and go, and you want to relax your body. Listen to the thought, acknowledge the thought, and move on by coming back into the now, because this is where we are. And we don't need to worry about too much just yet. So just let go of the feeling that you want to try to control what's coming next. Because you're not responsible for it. So of course you can sit with this for longer, but for now we're going to slowly open our eyes with a few blinks and just allow for that feeling to come over us, where we are going to now take this forward into the rest of the day or the rest of the week. And we have, all of us have done the best that we could up until now, and that's what we're going to do. So there's no point in stressing about it. So that said, if you have any questions that came up through this, or something else that came up through this, feel free to reach out to me, and we're going to end this for today. Thank you so much.